Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nemeka Onyekodeleri. I'm so excited with the latest development coming out of the Central Bank of Nigeria. The foreign exchange market has been unified, the rates have been matched, and now banks, investors, foreign direct investors, remittances, people can now go into any bank and transact on their FX transactions. Banks are free to exchange at whatever rates as intermediaries between willing buyers and willing sellers. The exciting here is that it's going to bring in transparency. The era of creating multiple exchange rate regime that provides 300 naira arbitrage window for highly placed criminals, both at the Apex Bank and within the system, to round trip and make humongous money without any value out of the economy is over. Very good step taken by the Central Bank of Nigeria. I learned at the export market now at I and E window now that the rate is about 760 thereabout. It will trend down. Very simple. It's a lot of demand and supply. Naira is traded against major currencies, and of course the dollar is our convertible reserve currency. So we expect initial market reaction. The fraudulent ones in the system want to manipulate it, but over time it will trend down. It's simple, lot of demand and supply, and we all know that it's not just enough for the Central Bank of Nigeria to float the forex market. The federal government of Nigeria on the physical side must do a lot to help to cushion the volatility and the effect of the criminal demand pressure on the dollar. We all know that over 50 to 60% of the demand pressure on the dollar are not transaction based. They are not based on veritable, viable, credible transactions that brings value to the economy. Any economy buys and trades, there's always balance of trade. But what we've discovered over time that most of the demand pressure on the naira are from corrupt quarters. Those are the 3 tiers and levels of government, Get Fact Jack, IGR, whatever they're able to steal. They either hide it in dollar cash form or dollar transfers outside Nigeria, or they'll put it in properties at the high end. So the pressure will be on the physical side to make sure that the demand pressure on the dollar from the corrupt side is limited as much as possible. So the federal government of Nigeria must take urgent steps to help the Central Bank of Nigeria by doing the following things. 1, we must fight corruption headlong, and we must fight corruption by way of providing deterrence. It's not just enough to be reactive, we must be proactive. How are we going to be very proactive here? Immediately we must pass legislation banning dollar cash transactions in Nigeria in such a way that anybody who does more than $1,000 cash transaction in dollars will be penalized with 5-year imprisonment without option or fine. No negotiation about it. We must stop use of dollar cash within the system. 2, we must go extra mile. One thing Yar'Adua did when he became president, even when the elections that brought him in was questioned because of the fraudulent processes, was to openly declare his assets and liabilities and that of his family. Published it. We must amend the relevant provisions of the law, the Code of Conduct Bureau Act, to make it compulsory for political office holders, either elected or appointed, or senior civil servants from grade level 13 and above, to declare their assets publicly and publish it, and it must be put in an e-portal that is accessible to everybody. If you don't want it, don't come into the kitchen. It's something we must do. Transparency must be initiated in a way that, and again, we must amend the relevant laws. Those that want to register landed properties must include their TIN, their NIN, and their BVN. We must also go extra mile to enshrine the whistleblowing provision in the Act in such a way that Nigerians are encouraged. If you see any underhand, any loot or whatever activities, report, blow the whistle. Whatever is recovered, you will get 20%. Such ways will get the police, will get the army, will get those in the back industry, even civil servants who see corrupt games to report, because they are sure that once they report, they'll be able to get 20% windfall. When people realize that it is no longer business as usual, that if they steal, they will be caught, and if they're caught, they will be disgraced and they will lose it. And people know that if they help to catch a thief, they will get something very tangible. It will act as a deterrence, and we must put the deterrence in place to deter people from stealing. And again, we must provide security for foreign direct investment to flow into an economy. For investors to be comfortable, there must be security of lives and properties. And that is why we must go back to the constitutional, physical, socio-economic, and governance framework that works for us between 1960 to 1966. Within this golden period, we never had insurgency, militancy, terrorism, banditry, armed robbery, because the regions had their own police. The regional police of the old eastern Nigeria was so efficient, more effective than the federal police, that they were even hiring them in Congo DRC to go and make peace. Security is very indigenous. You cannot get somebody from Owerri to go and secure Sokoto, as a DPO. No, we must indigenize and decentralize security. States must be able to set up their own police. Local government must be able to set up their own local government, municipal security, or sheriff. When you allow communities to be involved in providing their own security, let them be the ones that will select and donate their sons and daughters to the municipal security, to the state security. They will protect them. And when there is provisions of security of life and properties, investors will be more comfortable to do 24/7 activities in the economy. One of the reasons why we have had insecurity everywhere is because there is no ownership of security. And ownership of security thrives on intelligence and trust and confidence. The people can only trust you to give you intelligence reports. So we must decentralize the security architecture of Nigeria. From 2015 to 2023, we wasted over $30 billion. And yes, insecurity festered across every part of Nigeria, became worse under the Buhari regime. And kudos to the current government. They are doing a lot in terms of putting in place measures, removing subsidies, merging the FX rates, and other beautiful measures that have boosted investors' confidence in Nigeria. Go and look at the bullish run that have been experienced in the capital. In fact, in the bond market, we say 50-year high. And that is the investors' confidence on some of the proactive, market-loving, market-supporting actions that they've taken. So it's not good. They should consolidate it. And again, the reforms in the oil and gas sector must be consolidated. NNPC must be quickly unbundled. The games they are trying to play now, give one person license to import petroleum products, should not be allowed. Tinubu should not allow it to happen. See, there are over 130 petroleum depots across Nigeria. Each of them employs not less than 300 to 500 people. You cannot shut them down. Investments of over 10 to 20 billion in each of these depots, worth over 20 billion. Over 130 of them, you can't shut them down because of one man who wants to enjoy monopoly. It's a free market, free entry. Once DPR or whatever licenses you can import products, you can set up your own refinery. It's a free entry, free exit market. As long as you bring the specified product, on no account should they give license to one man who claims he's building a refinery to be the sole importer of the PMS. Never. The monopoly in cement should be killed. It should not be allowed to happen in the oil and gas sector. The refinery should be unbundled. The refinery should be sold off immediately. Look for other deep-pocketed investors, not to the monopolists or oligopolists, and sell it down. The NNPC holding in the upstream, downstream should be immediately sold down by at least 30%. Let those JVs become incorporated and run transparently. Federal government of Nigeria will be able to get at least $20 billion from that sector alone. Open up the market. Let these other sectors, gas, coal, open it up. Let Nigeria run transparently. Slay insecurity, fight corruption headlong, make the market more transparent. Let it be far from what it used to be. We should not allow few elitist and political bandits to hold this country to ransom again. Fix insecurity, allow the market to operate transparently, both from the physical and monetary side. Open up the space, give level playing ground for everybody, and this country will fly again. Thank you, and God bless you all.